Okay, so it's Dirk to throw for the bullseye first. 25.
Second round action here at the PDC Super Series. It is Players Championship 6, our 6th Pro Tour event of the year, while many other sports, indeed many other parts of life, struggle to continue during these times. The PDC marches on, and the Pro Tour has given us some majestic action
140.
in the opening days of 2021. And that man right there, the preposterously earringed
46.
Dutch aubergine farmer Dirk van Duijvenbode, has given us some of the top action that we have witnessed so far this year. In fact, you can make a very strong case for him being the top performer. You look at the averages and he is that. But he's also a man who's up against one of the top performers of all time in this game, the Flying Scotsman Gary Anderson. Winner of this one goes through to face Devon Peterson, the #1 from South Africa, who's been averaging well over 100 all day, 109 and then 105 in his first 2 games today.
89.
Welcome to our viewers on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching. Just a little taste of what you get on PDC TV. You can get a weekend or week pass for a couple of quid.
36.
And I think you'll be seeing quite a lot of Dirk van Duijvenbode if you do, because he is winning games. He was superb yesterday. Went out of the tournament with a tournament average of about 106.
Game shot.
Uses that very well. See him working his way into that double top bed. Dirk van Duijvenbode strikes first. 1-0 in this race to 6. Anderson strikes back immediately. We've had plenty of high-profile meetings, these two, in very recent times as well.
180.
But forget about those. They're about to smash in loads of 180s. Dirk van Duijvenbode is hitting 180s more frequently
60.
than anyone in the world on the Pro Tour in the opening half a dozen events. Can't follow up with another this time.
134.
A couple of treble 19s, applies all kinds of pressure. Gary Anderson kicks off on throw with a 180, and all of a sudden he's under massive pressure. This is what Dirk van Duijvenbode is doing to people. Can't leave a finish, Gary. That unfortunate deflection into the 1 costs him.
125. $140.
Anderson leaves tops after 12. Will it matter? No, it will not, because that is an absolutely stupendous leg of darts from Dirk van Duijvenbode. 11 darter, breaker throw, 2-0 up, averaging 116. I know we're 2 legs into it, but the thing is with Dirk, he's been doing this a lot. Massive 57. Averages. Over and over and over again. How he has not won a title, I do not know. But it is going to happen very soon if he keeps on playing like this. Yesterday, he reached the quarterfinals, lost out to Alan Suter, fabulous new tour card holder. But on the day, he'd averaged 110, 103, 107 and 113 in his first 4 games. Went out with a 97. I mean, 97's good. But he's just playing on a different level from the vast majority of other players. Michael van Gerwen is not here this week. Peter Wright is here. He hasn't won a title so far this year. Gerwyn Price hasn't won a title since the World Championship. Dirk van Duijvenbode looks more likely than the pair of them
57.
to win today or tomorrow or the day after that. It was Brendan Dolan the winner yesterday.
85. $140.
Well, for a guy who has such almost violence in his throw, he stomps about the place.
91.
There's some real energy in that throw, but the actual arm, the actual throwing action is looking more smooth than it's ever been. Okay, treble 20. And now double top.
67.
But he knows he's coming back because Gary Anderson is being outscored quite heavily in the early stages of this. And Gary shakes his head
58.
because he knows that he's struggling to live with this Dutchman. And we've said that before, but not about Gary Anderson and this particular Dutchman. But I think we might be saying it about this particular Dutchman for quite some time to come. He had a real breakthrough at the World Grand Prix last year, went all the way to his first major final, beat Gary Anderson along the way, and that was a big thing for Dirk van Duijvenbode. He holds Gary in such esteem. But when they played at the World Championship in the quarterfinals, he let Gary walk all over him. He didn't stand up to him at all. He was heavily, heavily beaten.
82.
Look at the way he's responded this year. He's beaten him in one of these events, in a second round game actually. In our first tranche of Super Series events up in Bolton, beat him 6-4, and he beat him a couple of weeks ago in this very venue at the UK Open. He beat him 10-9, but really the margin of victory could have been bigger. He was a better player all the way through. Good 10, 12 points clear on the averages for the majority of that game. Dirk van Duijvenbode, make no mistake, is a player on the up. He is rising and rising and rising. He's been rising for a good year and a bit. And who knows where he could be in the world rankings come the end of this year,
58.
because he only stepped back onto the tour at the start of last year. Had to go to Q School, get his card back again. A combination of doing more practice, doing physio that allows him to practice more.
90.
Has just seen his results, his performance levels go through the roof.
105.
And Gary Anderson, a two-time world champion, is desperately paddling away just to try and stay still,
60.
just to tread water against Dirk here. Tops, tops.
85.
Couldn't produce it. And so Dirk van Duijvenbode is going to get 2 darts to break again and go 4-0 up on one of the all-time greats.
50.
Could that be a turning point? Doesn't like double 10 normally, Gary. He says he doesn't.
Game shot.
Double 5's good to him, though. There we go. Gary Anderson, a let off, but he does get the leg in the bag. He's only averaging mid-80s here. That's 13 points lower than Dirk van Duijvenbode. If that persists, it is very, very difficult to imagine Gary Anderson turning this game around. Can be done.
60.
We've seen it done. Saw Nathan Aspinall lose with 107 average in the first round today. But it'll be very, very tough. We are seeing players book their places in the third round
180.
of this event. We've got 16 boards of action taking place simultaneously around the Marshall Arena.
140.
Likes of Joe Cullen, James Wade, Gerwin Price, Simon Whitlock. They're all through.
140.
Dirk van Duijvenbode leaves 81 after 9 darts again. Devon Peterson, as I say, is the man who awaits the winner of this one. He's playing magnificently as well. Devon was the breakthrough year for Devon last year as well. It was the year of the beefy dart player.
49.
With Dirk and Devon both stepping up their performance levels, becoming real title threats. Devon, of course, has won
66.
a PDC title. Did so on the European Tour.
Game shot.
And Dirk van Duijvenbode takes a 4-1 lead. Gary Anderson powerless to stop him in that leg.
.42.
UK Open finalist from a couple of weeks ago here, Luke Humphreys, a leg away from taking out one of the top seeds, Ian White. That's over on board 14. You can keep up to date with all the matches, visit by visit in those games on the Dart Connect system, tv.dartconnect.com. If you want to carry on watching this throughout the day, and we will have somebody win £10,000 today. Yesterday it was Brendan Dolan.
84.
Go and check out pdc.tv. Pro Tour events. Had 4 last month, 4 this month. We're set to have 4 next month. May have the European Tour making a return later this year when we're allowed. We shall see.
80.
That one spat out from the board by Dirk van Duijvenbode, but he's got an 80-point lead on Gary against the darts.
100.
And that's not enough. Gary Anderson just not able to summon enough up at the moment to worry this rampant Dutch talent.
85. 60.
60, double 18.
$99.
Well, sensible use of the bullseye means that it's a single to double combination. May not be allowed back to the board though. Oh, Gary Anderson very nearly producing a moment of magic that, who knows, maybe it could have turned this game. Still might, because it certainly pressured this for Van Duijvenbode.
Game shot.
Oh, maybe it won't though, because he's just pinned that as if it's absolutely nothing. It is 5-1 with another break, and Dirk van Duijvenbode is railroading one of the all-time greats of the game in the Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson.
58. 140.
Gerwyn Price has moved through to round 3 with 103.5 average. Is the world #1 getting his act together? The man who beat Gary Anderson in the World Championship final back on the 3rd of January.
44.
Hasn't won a title since then, the Iceman.
97. 140.
Not enough to leave a finish. Van Duijvenbode's got a couple of visits from here to complete what would be his biggest ever victory over Gary Anderson. Did beat him 3-1 in sets in the World Grand Prix quarter-final.
137.
Anderson leaves himself on tops. Can he find a treble? He can. Match dart, double 18. Dirk van Duijvenbode
98.
misses. Poor dart. Poor dart. 35 left. 3 or 15? Double 16.
24.
Oh, Gary Anderson will be fuming, but that little visit kind of sums up his effort this afternoon. And Dirk van Duijvenbode puts him out of his misery. He has been so much better than the Flying Scotsman in this one. He has beaten him on the Pro Tour at the start of the year. He beat him at the UK Open, and he's beaten him again. It's 3 wins out of the last 3 for Dirk van Duijvenbode. The Titan is on the march at Players Championship 6. He is going to win something soon. It might be this afternoon.
Toyo Tires. Blue is the heart that yearns to explore. Blue is the pull of the unknown. Blue is the fire that burns inside. Wake up your blue with our tires.